Well, this week is National Eating Disorders Awareness Week, and today we're taking a look behind the mission of Project Blackbird, a nonprofit working to destigmatize mental health conversations for everyone. And this morning, I am joined by the nonprofit's founder, Alexandra Miles. Welcome to Good Morning Washington.
Thank you so much for having me.
I mean, such an important topic, so I'm so excited to talk about this. Why don't you start by telling us about Project Blackbird and how it got started?
Sure. So I started Project Blackbird 2022. I myself struggled with an eating disorder. I was diagnosed in 2018, and so it did start with an eating disorder story, but Project Blackbird, the organization, it's a mental health program, assembly style, that we bring around to K through 12 and college campuses, and we have a general mental health program, eating disorders, substance abuse. Essentially, we use storytelling, so a film and professional athletes, actors sharing their lived experience around mental health, and then our organization comes in and provides a full year of therapy covered for all of the attendees in the program, and a big resource fair to connect with local resources.
Wow, so you bring in celebrities, you know, people that students and kids are familiar with, saying, oh wow, so I look up to them in movies and TV shows on the court, and they are going through what I'm going through.
Exactly.
So making it more accessible, opening those conversations.
100%. They're human. Our role models are human. Everybody struggles, and mental health does not discriminate. Eating disorders do not discriminate. Everybody can go through something, and in fact, everybody does go through some struggle at some point in their life. We just don't always talk about it.
Absolutely. And eating disorders, they look different in everyone. There's no right or wrong way to have an eating disorder. It's just something that you have and that you have to move through. But, you know, we talk about signs of an eating disorder. I feel like that there's no consistency when it comes to everyone. But if people are living with someone who they might be worried about, or they themselves are experiencing some of those symptoms, what are those symptoms that are key? You know, we should probably talk to a doctor.
Yeah. So I think often if you find that somebody is not eating meals publicly, if there's a lot of anxiety around meals, if you see or hear them commenting often on their body, on the food that they're eating, eating disorders live in silence often, and they're based off of something so much deeper than the food. So if you see this kind of silent, secretive nature, it might be time to get curious. And if you do choose to approach that person, or if you choose to acknowledge it in yourself, give it grace and recognize that it's something, there might be something happening beyond the eating disorder. So maybe it's a question, are you okay? Are you overwhelmed? What's happening in your life? Notice if something is tied to emotion or stress, or something heightened in the moment that is bringing out those different behaviors. There are various signs and symptoms that you can find. We have some listed on our website. There are great resources out there that are more specific signs and symptoms to specific eating disorders. But I would say those are the biggest ones to look out for, is that that conversation around food.
And I want to talk about social media as well, because I feel like that has played a huge part in the development of eating disorders and how they've really risen and, you know, been diagnosed a bit more as well. How have you seen social media impact eating disorders and disordered eating? Yeah,
I think, one, the messages that we see from our role models and heroes and influencers, and you see all of these, this is what I eat in a day, TikToks and Instagram reels, and I think there's a lot around diet culture and exercise. Exercise can be a form of an eating disorder if it's compulsive, if it's to balance. You know, everything is about balance, and you find that a lot of people are often turning towards exercise or turning towards food as either a punishment or balance, and that can be an eating disorder. And diet culture in general, you see all of these recipes posted online, and everything is geared towards different diets that can be okay. It can be okay to live a healthy lifestyle, but when it becomes consuming of your thoughts, that's when I think it's important to get curious.
Definitely. What you need to nourish your own body looks a lot different than someone you're seeing on TikTok.
100%,
so to keep that in mind, if someone is suffering with an eating disorder or disordered eating and they want help, what's that first step that they can take? Is it reaching out to Project Blackbird?
Absolutely reach out to Project Blackbird. As a public service, we have a case manager that can help you find the resources that are important and specific to you, what you might need. But I would say for everybody in general, what I always tell my student audiences is, I'm not here to diagnose, but I am here to say that if if your relationship with food or with your body is anything that is causing stress, anything suboptimal, not the relationship that you want, if it's not joy, if it's not connection, if it's not community, get curious. See a therapist, ask a peer, ask a parent, just open up about it and say, hey, I think I need help. That's the best first step that you can take.
Absolutely. Alexandra, thank you so much for joining me. More information on Project Blackbird at the bottom of your screen, and we'll be back with more Good Morning Washington right after this.